high school will take terribly long. If so, those who are here for confirmation, when you get done, there are 2 sheets in the back, and there's 2 tabloid sheets, and it's got all of the possible days and times for the confirmation interviews. There are some that are at the SCP office, St. Christopher Parish, and there are some at the SMG office. There again, you can do either one. If it's more convenient to do it at SMG, or the day or the time works better, that's fine. It's only like 8 minutes between them, except with the construction, it's like 43 minutes. But if you find the back weights, it's about 12. But you know, it's not terribly far, so you can do, there are some things that you can do at either place. The sponsor meeting mass, you can do either place. The interviews, you can do it either place. It's just the classes, we gotta, because of the logistics involved, we gotta keep those people going to just the one place they signed up for. All right. So anyway, so that form is in the back. Take a look at the dates. I know not everybody's gonna have their calendar out, but if you can set that date, go for it. Again, the only prerequisite is that form, that individual confirmation plan is completed. I will make a copy of that form when the student comes, and I will put it in my file just so I have it there. I do another interview with them a couple months before they get confirmed. It's basically for me to just take a snapshot of where they are now and help them get to the next stages. Okay? So that form on the back table, you can take a look at those times. Otherwise, I will send that out as an email, and you guys will get those signed up as soon as possible. They start in like a couple of weeks. So I'd like to have those wrapped up by mid-October, so that that's all taken care of. There have been a couple people that have asked me, like, I can't make some of these times because like my kid's in a sport or something like that. Just talk to me, we'll figure it out. Okay. All right, parent-student meeting for high school. I think by now everybody's been to at least one meeting, so you all know who I am, so we will skip that. Catechists, I didn't introduce them for confirmation, but I do have some here, and I want to introduce them so that you guys see who some of your kids are working with. So let's see what we got here. We've got Deb Roofer back here. She's going to be working with the confirmation girls in small group. Joe Roofer back there, he'll be working with confirmation boys in small group. Steve McKeon, him and Joe will be working together. We got to figure out what to do because they've got a group of 13 boys, and I want to see them survive this. So no, we're going to figure it out. Yeah, Will Walton's back there. He's going to be working. So the 3 of those guys are going to help me with those 13 boys. So we'll make that work. Yeah. In the back is Taylor Eichelkraut. He's going to be working on the Bible study with the boys who have been confirmed. And so he'll be doing that. I think there's maybe 5, hopefully 6 or 7. I'm still working on a couple of boys that have been confirmed and are haven't gotten back to me about getting registered yet. So I'm working on that. Abby Eichelkraut's back there. She's going to be working with the girls on the Bible study for that. Diana's not here, I don't think. Diana Zuniga, she was here. She's going to be helping Deb there, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So we have, just one last word about confirmation, we have 27 students getting confirmed, 20 boys and 7 girls. So it was interesting because at one point there was only 1 girl at Goretti. I'm like, that's not going to work. So then about the time she decided to come over here, another girl signed up, Serena signed up, so it's like, well, that's not going to work. So I wanted to see if they were both wanting to go over there, and but now they're both coming here, and it's going to be awesome. So thank you, Serena. So anyway, so we got a great group of girls there. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun. So for high school, let's look at this calendar. Take a look at mine. This looks like one big color mishmash, and I understand that. My degree is in cartography, and I did a lot of design work for textbooks. Some of the textbooks, like history books and geography books that you students have, I probably designed them. Because our company did a lot of work for educational publishers over the years. So anyway, a lot of use of color. So color is kind of a visual, what do they call it? Visual cue or whatever for me. But it helps me organize things. And so on here, Wednesdays and Sundays are the 2 nights I had to work with. Sundays at Goretti, Wednesdays here. We are almost always, with the exception of a couple of weeks in here, we are almost always the second time something's taught. It's identical programming. It's usually Sunday at Goretti and then Wednesday here. And the question came up, I think, in confirmation, kind of go back and forth. No. There are instances where you can, but if people just kind of decide which one they're going to do on any given week, it's going to be a nightmare. And so I need you to, for the week that you signed up for, I need you to be, or the night that you signed up for, I need you to be at that one. If there are extenuating circumstances, somebody's sick, don't just assume you can go to the next one, because if you're on Wednesday night here and you assume, well, I'm sick, I'll go to Sunday at Goretti. Well, that lesson happened 3 days ago. And so, we'll have to figure that out. I'll probably have to get you the work to do at home then, for things. Yep.
Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but is this the same talk that you just gave to confirmation?
No.
Okay.
No, but there's a couple things that I think they need to hear. Yep. And so anyway, that's one clarification, because that's been a question that's been asked a lot. So I'm telling everybody that every time we come in. All right. If you do need to move, the big thing is communication with anything. Okay, just be talking with me about what's going on. And I'm pretty forgiving, but I also need to kind of have some lines that we have to try and stay on one side or the other. So let's look at the calendar dates here. You'll see primarily, there's 3 colors you got to look at there. Let's look at Wednesday. So tonight is Wednesday, September 13th. That's purple. That's a special event night. You'll see a couple other purple nights on there. And there's one on the 11th of October, 20th of December, 1st of May. Those are activity nights. That is where the small groups will decide to do something special. And small group leaders usually can kind of give more insight on that, but they just pick something fun to do. Some nights we'll do a bonfire. Some nights we'll do lawn games, unless it's January. Other times, like sometimes the girls will carve pumpkins or bake cookies or watch a movie or play video games or do whatever. But it's just a night for the group to be social with each other and just get to know each other at a different level. Okay. The brown nights, so 27th of September is the first one. Those are the nights where we're going to do your small group activities. So for confirmation, that's going to be starting your confirmation prep. Hopefully, that's still in writing right now. So hopefully we'll at least have the first lesson. I may have to hand it to you separate from the workbook, and we'll work on that. But the Bible study will start that night for the rest of the ones that have been confirmed already. So usually what happens for the confirmation is we'll start with a large group presentation. I'll present some stuff, and then you break up into small groups. For the Bible study, that'll be pretty much small group the entire night. Okay? I saw that. The black nights with the yellow type are DTS nights. How many of you guys have heard of Dead Theologian Society? Anybody? A few of you? You have been here before? So Dead Theologian Society is an apostolate started by a gentleman named Eddie Cotter. Eddie actually lived in Black Earth for 10, 15 years. Then Bishop Burke in the Diocese of La Crosse, now Cardinal Burke, brought Eddie here to bring DTS to this area. Cardinal Burke became Cardinal Burke. Eddie has gone back to Ohio to help take care of his mother-in-law who's walking towards death right now. It's like a worldwide apostolate. At one point there was 500 or 600 chapters around the world. And what it is, it focuses on teaching about the saints, and teaching about the rosary, and there's lots of components to this. Part of it though is that we start with a social component. We have dinner. And so that's what I forgot, that's my office. There's a sign up for families to sign up for the DTS meals to help out. So I may need to run and get that. Otherwise I'm going to send it out. But on those nights, the families take turns preparing a simple meal. And sometimes families pair up, and it can be whatever. I ask them not to get too crazy with it. You don't need to bring 2 Nescos of stuff, things like that. You're feeding probably, I think we have about 27 or 28 high school students, plus the catechist. So not everybody's here on a given night. Most people are. You're probably feeding about 30 people. But sloppy joes, walking tacos, sandwich bar, sometimes people just order pizza, whatever. We'll provide all the drinks, all the plates, all that kind of stuff. And then I'll walk people through that. But especially if there are some high school families who have been here before, if you could sign up for the first couple of nights, that would help me out a bunch. The first night is next week, and I realize that's short notice. Those are the black nights on here. But then what we do is we go to the church. I've manipulated the environment. I've got a bunch of candles set up. We turn off the lights. We spread the students around in the area, and I give a presentation on a saint, mostly me. Sometimes there's other people. Give a presentation on a saint. We spend some time in intercessory prayer together. We pray a decade of the rosary, do a reflection on that decade of the rosary, pray St. Gertrude's prayer, divine praises. There's an order by which everything needs to be done. We are a chapter of that. We pay an annual fee. When the students have been here for a certain number of times, they get inducted into the Dead Theologian Society. I was going to wear my sweatshirt, but it's kind of warm in here. They will get a hooded sweatshirt for free. They get inducted into the Brown Scapular, or if they are in the Brown Scapular already, they get another one. They get an olive wood rosary, and there's something else they get, I think. But anyway, there's a ceremony that goes with it. That they have to be inducted. Usually we have one of the priests come in and do that. And so that's kind of a big deal. And Dead Theologian Society is pretty cool. When we were backpacking 4 weeks ago up in Pictured Rocks, I'm crossing an area where there's a lot of tourists, and I see a guy in a DTS sweatshirt. And I was like, yo, DTS! He's like, hey! And we started talking DTS stuff. He was from Escanaba, and he, they had a DTS chapter that had dissolved a few years ago up there. But it's everywhere, and it's really growing. The guy who does it, Eddie, is just phenomenal. If you ever want to hear him talk, he's friends with Chris Stefanik as well. Chris has interviewed him a couple times on his show. I can try and find the links and send them to you. Eddie's just really a cool guy. He wrote a book that's like 365 days with the saints. There's just like one sentence every day with the saints. He's just a really cool guy. He's about as tall as Dave. He's got huge red hair, and he's just this gentle guy, and just really, really a holy man. It's just really a joy to know him. So this apostle is really a powerful way for the kids to learn, and it's one of their favorite nights. They often are. One of the biggest questions I get when they walk in is tonight DTS, and usually they know because there's food in the kitchen. But they're disappointed when it's not DTS night, so they really enjoy it. So we try and make that a successful part of what we do. You see light blue nights; those are nights we don't have class. Dark blue nights are holidays. There are some times when I had to not have class because, like for instance, Easter. I can't have class at Easter over at Goretti, so I don't have it the following Wednesday here. You'll notice there are some times off in April. That is because it was really hard for me to run classes and have the confirmation retreats in there, and I think it's a lot to ask the students to be going to class and be attending these confirmation retreats, so I gave them a couple weeks off there as well. I've got some makeup dates in May in case we need them. Haven't had to use them yet since 2009, so let's hope this isn't the first year. I have a feeling we're going to have to do something with the two parishes. I think my luck's going to run out with not having to cancel class. If there's ever a night when the weather's questionable, I'm not going to make you come out. It's not like I don't cancel if we need to. We just haven't had to. If there's a night when you're like Jodorowsky's live way out in the sticks, so do I, right? But they're like, it's not safe to drive tonight. It's like, just tell me, right? I want you to be safe too. I'm not going to be like, well, no, you can't get confirmed now because you didn't come to this class. I want you to be safe, but pull it out like the $5 bill you keep in your wallet. Only pull it out when you need it, because if you pull it out too often, you won't have it when you need it. Okay. Maybe you don't keep a $5 bill in your wallet. I don't know. $5 doesn't buy much anymore. I think that's the bulk of that. Do you guys have any questions on that while I look at my notes to see if there's anything else? There are. Oh, go ahead.
I know this is probably an email. What time is it again? What time do we come?
So yeah, I know it's confusing with the way the meetings were tonight. So high school always starts at 7:45.
7:45. Okay.
Yep.
And
So-
at what time?
At 9.
Both locations.
Both locations. Yeah, that's why the time changed slightly so high school stayed the same. Middle school had to move 5 minutes earlier because it was 6:30 here, but there was no time between. And I found that I was 10 minutes late every time because I was trying to talk with students and catechists and things like that and making the transition. So I wanted to put a 15-minute buffer in there, not because I need a break, but I need to make sure that I'm ready for the students. So yeah, so 6:15 to 7:30 for middle school, 7:45 to 9 for high school. All right. One note is that our priests are here for confessions on Wednesday nights. from 6:30 to 7:30. So that's like right before class starts. I would encourage the high schoolers to take advantage of that opportunity. I know at SMG they got a bunch of opportunities too, which is really a blessing for the combined parishes. I think we'll be seeing more opportunities here as the mass schedule firms up. We'll see how that goes, but I would say for high schoolers especially, come early and take advantage of the sacrament confession. I wouldn't count on them being here much past 7:30. I know Father Rob couldn't. Father Rob was not a night person. But I don't know about the other priests. If there was people there, and Father Rob would stay too, but he wouldn't like stay if there's nobody in line waiting for people to come. So high schoolers, I would encourage you to come from time to time. We're asked to go to confession once a month. So I would consider once a month trying to come early and go to confession. Maybe get here by 7:15 and just make sure the priest is still here. So like I said, DTS, we're gonna start with next week. So, you know, I think what I'll do is I'll just write a couple dates down, maybe I'll just put a piece of paper out there for families to start signing up for that. You can look at the black dates and you can start getting people on the calendar for that. And if you don't know what you're doing, just sign up and we'll make sure you get what you need. Maybe I'll pair up a couple people that, you know, I know there's a couple people that have done it before that are willing to train people, but otherwise it's not hard. It's just kind of knowing what you gotta provide and what you don't need to. Questions about any of that so far? Okay, there's a lot of opportunities for high schoolers throughout the year. How many of you guys have gone to Steubenville before? A few of you, 1, 2, a few around. Steubenville's a great conference to go. I know some of you guys, older siblings have gone, because I see Sam, I know Lucy's gone in the past. I know Abigail went last year. It's a weekend conference in the Twin Cities. They have 22 of them around the country, but we usually go to the St. Paul one. It's at the end of July. Take a bus up there, and it's just a really good opportunity. I've known people that have had radical conversions at those. It's really worth considering doing. I have to start getting people signed up in November, so you're going to start hearing about this in a month. And so just be ready. I usually ask people to pay a $75 deposit. If something happens later on before we make the final reservations, we can usually do some shifting. But I would encourage everybody to try it once. It's really good. We usually go with a couple of the parishes. We take a bus up there. We go with St. Clement and Lancaster. We go with, last year with St. Peter's and Ashton. There was a number of other parishes, a couple other parishes. They know people that want to get involved with us. So I'm hoping next year we have 2 buses going up there. And so there's some really good adults in other parishes, and we split people up by age into small groups, and it's just really, it's a really good time. I really look forward to that event every summer. So consider that. Love Begins Here. How many of you guys have done Love Begins Here before? A few. Cool. We'll be doing that. I typically try and sign up for that in June. The reason for that is I do Love Begins Here in June. That doesn't mean people can't sign up for other ones, right? That's what I try and do ours. Because July, we got Steubenville, but in July and August, we may have 1 or 2 backpacking trips. So I did it one year where they were all intermeshed, and it was, my whole summer was just shot before I knew what was going on. So I tend to focus on LBH in June. But definitely sign up. I might take a quick head count because I don't know how many people want to go, and they usually ask me how many spots you want to reserve. And I'm like, you know, I could answer that last year, but this year I have no idea. So just, you know, I'll probably do a straw poll at some point in time about that. That sign up is in like January, something like that. So that's not right away. Forsati Fest. How many of you guys have done Forsati Fest in the past? Anybody? A few. I haven't done it the last few years. I haven't done since before COVID, and it wasn't because of COVID. There were some things that happened at the one that I went to that I need to make sure they've got straightened out before we do it again. There's a couple of safe environment things that I saw that I don't like boys and girls on the same hotel floor. No, I don't like that, because the boys run up and down the hall till 3 o'clock in the morning, pounding on girls' doors and stuff like that. That's just not okay. There's a couple other things like that too. I had to sleep in a bed once with another youth minister. I'm like, no, not so much. We had the wall of pillows and stuff like that, but I'm like, this is not okay. It's just not, no. And so I want to get some of that stuff straightened out, because I'm more worried about I can deal with sleep with the youth minister, right? But it's the kids and all that kind of stuff. I want them to have a good experience. There was also an instance when I was in adjoining rooms with a set of girls, and that's the way they set it up. I'm like, that's not okay. because I need to protect myself as well. Okay, so I wanna get that stuff straightened out before I take students in that again. And I plan to make a big deal of that this year. So, so I'm not saying no, but I'm saying I wanna get a couple things squared away with the diocese first. Steve?
People, people don't let money be the issue of not going, okay?
Yep. Yeah, we've got some benefactors on all this stuff. We've got a few benefactors that are willing, like Steubenville. Steubenville's about $375. Don't let that be, and we've had people take advantage of that, and that's fine, that's great. We don't want anybody to not do something because of money. So if you need help, let us know. I've got people I can contact that would love to help the students make this happen. Okay. So for Saudi Fest, like I said, I'm hoping we can do that this year. Tech retreats, Together Encountering Christ, was originally designed for teens, but now it's for everybody. I would encourage people to do a tech retreat. I'll probably be directing the Christmas one, and then there'll be one in the spring. I think we're gonna be canceling the fall one because the director for that got some health issues and we can't pull it together. But it's a weekend retreat. It's usually in another parish and diocese. I'll be promoting it. But it's something I would consider, teens to consider, but I would encourage adults to do it too. Or do it with your teen. I made my deck with my daughter. It was great. I mean, it was really a special time. So anyway, so I would encourage that. And then backcountry, the backpacking trips that we do. In the last 12 years, I've done 15 or 16 backpacking trips to various places everywhere from national parks out west to places in the Midwest, like Picture Rocks National Lake Shore, Superior Hiking Trail. They're a great time. We'll start doing some training hikes in April for that, but consider doing that. If you don't have equipment there, I've got some equipment I can loan out. We have some crew gear. I pretty much ask people to buy their boots, and I've got backpacks even I can loan people. Heidi went with us, Heidi and Caitlin went with us this summer, and they borrowed backpacks, because why would I want to spend $200 on a backpack if I don't know I like this? I didn't have boots to loan them, but there are certain things that you guys will have to buy, but it's a great opportunity to get out and to do something you probably don't have a chance to do in too many other places. Other than that, the one other thing I would suggest is, I know some of the high school students are able to drive, but parents, sometimes I know that you want to drop off the kids and then come back and get them later, but I would say consider spending some time in the church in front of the Blessed Sacrament during our class. Some nights we have DTS in there, and that's fine, but you're welcome to come and be in any of the classes first off, but otherwise stay and pray in church and pray for what's going on in the classrooms, that the Lord opens the hearts of the kids and helps the